And we are live. Welcome, Crypto Warriors, to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 698. Today is Thursday, April 8th, and I'm your host, Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish. Excuse me. I have some great news stories for you today, starting with the top story. State Street to provide tech for institutional Bitcoin trading platform. PayPal co-founder, Bitcoin investor Peter Thiel says Bitcoin can become a Chinese weapon. And last but not least, Paris Hilton dropped surprisingly well-informed article about NFTs. So not a lot of news stories today, but very important. But before we get to that, let's jump into some market updates for today. So Bitcoin sitting today. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Uh, and Bitcoin sitting today at $57,517, up 1.4%. Ethereum at $2,033 is up 1.9%. Binance blasting past $410 is up 7.4%. Ripple at 95 cents is up 1%. Cardano at 121, up 0.8%. Polkadot reaching the $40 mark is up 0.8%. Uniswap at 29.63 is up 1.8%. Litecoin at 223 is up 0.1%. And last but not least, Chainlink at 31.98 is down 0.44%. So again, looking at the top 10, most of these coins have gained at least 100, 200% this year. So a lot of people sitting in the green. I will say that if Bitcoin is continuing to go sideways, again, that is a right time for what we call alt season. So for those of you who are traders, this is looking good for you all. A lot of coins in the top 10 will succeed. But again, remember, we've shown you old top 10s from 2014, 2015, and everything was the next big thing. So don't get too too attached to some of these bags. Just make sure you're responsible out there. So let's get into some shout outs. Oh yeah. So notes from Jew, blessings, crypto fam, DM Carr, comedian Chuck Real, Elihu, Micah J, DM Carr, again, Dylan Darcherville, Eastside Tony was good. And I'm sorry, and Karino Lara, what's going on? Pasadena in the house. Yes, sir. Abdullah, Sergeant Mac, Fanteezy. Let's see, what up, Crypto Ty? Margaret, Les Square, Trey Ski, what's up, brothers and sisters coming in right now? Again, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share it. Again, we need this algorithm to pop. The goal is to get to 10K in the next month, so we definitely could use those likes. So make sure you're not lurking and start liking. First story of the day. Let's get this here. State Street, which is one of the oldest banks to provide tech for institutional Bitcoin trading platform. CurrentX, a State Street-owned platform, will provide us infrastructure for the pure digital cryptocurrency exchange. Again, State Street is the second oldest operating bank in the United States, moving into the crypto industry by agreeing to provide its technology for a new crypto trading platform. Again, we say it all the time. You won't have a choice. And again, most of the companies are starting to realize that, and they're shifting some of their technology and resources towards the crypto market. Announcing the news Thursday, Pure Digital also said it will collaborate with State Street to explore further digital currency trading in this industry. So scheduled for launch in mid-2021, probably in June, the new platform will reportedly allow institutional investors to trade using bilateral credit and multiple custody solutions. So they can leverage their preferred digital asset and manage risk through smart, quote unquote, smart custody routing mechanism. And they also announced in late March that the bank is exploring the role of Bitcoin in multi-asset portfolios for over the last 9 years. Of course, every bank that comes out late and has a product, they always say, yeah, we've been exploring this for the last 8, 9 years. And they could be right. I mean, I'm sure, they may have heard of it, but you haven't been actively exploring it that long. If so, you would have seen the benefit earlier, and this probably would have been rolled out 2016, 2017. So again, just remember, changing the narrative for a lot of these banks is their goal. They want to make it seem as though we're at the head of innovation, and Bitcoin is just another product, when actually Bitcoin is the innovation, and they're just pawns in Bitcoin's game. State Street, I'm sorry, Bank of New York Mellon also did the same thing, announced plans to hold, transfer, and issue Bitcoin. Again, people, you won't have a choice. Every bank's going to have to join. Every country and nation state that wants to save themselves from hyperinflation, they're going to have to move to a Bitcoin standard. So definitely great to see. And let's take a look at some comments here. Let's see. Elvin Canoe, shout out from Compton. Oh, yeah. My Bitcoin and Black America book tour will definitely be in LA trying to do an entire month so I can hit Compton, LA, Santa Monica, Hollywood, Long Beach, everywhere, all over Southern California area. Let's see, Christopher Land, Crypto Ty, it's been a minute. What's up, brother? Lamontre, Baltimore in the house. Be more, what's good? I got a few friends in Baltimore. Let's see, Wesley SK, good morning. I saw on CNBC that Plantair CEO states that China's using Bitcoin to take down the USD. Well, 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 would you look at that? That goes right into our next story, talking about Peter Thiel. He's a PayPal co-founder. He states that Bitcoin could be used as a Chinese weapon. And I want to just say, before we go into the story, the gentleman Crypto, we're working hard to go back through our old videos, but we had an entire game theory where we said, just like Executive Order 6102, where they came and confiscated gold because the economy was bad without it, there going to be some sort of propaganda to say that because China has a lot of mining, because they own Bitcoin, that they could potentially be a bigger superpower than the US. We already said that they would do that because this all has geopolitical reasons to happen. So if China supposedly is trying to become the bigger power and they're using it with Bitcoin, there's two ways you can go about this. Either Peter Thiel is playing, like some people say, 4D chess, and he's like nudging the US, hey, you might want to watch out because China's buying all the Bitcoin and they'll be ahead of us. And that will get the US to get on a Bitcoin standard. Or he sort of shifted his thought process on how Bitcoin can be used and maybe, sort of got that tap on the shoulder like, hey, you got to throw out that China FUD just to make sure. Here, it says Peter Thiel warned that it could be a Chinese financial weapon used to dethrone the USD's monetary status. Honestly, Bitcoin's goal to overthrow the USD's monetary status is not relegated to one country. That's the big deal here, is that if you call it a Chinese financial weapon, why are you just talking about China? I mean, there's a bunch of countries that are involved. A lot of people around the globe are using it. And of course, this Peter Thiel, you got to stop Asian hate. Don't don't blame the USD's monetary status on Bitcoin being owned by the Chinese. Speaking alongside Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and also that could be a reason why he said this. When you sit around your friends, you speak a lot different than you do when you're sitting by yourself. He says, even though I'm a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin maximalist person, I do wonder if at this point Bitcoin should also be thought of in part as a Chinese financial weapon against the US. It threatens fiat money, but it especially threatens the dollar. I don't think China is dumb. The fact that they got in mining early and that mining for them is a huge industry, that using it, them quote unquote banning it was them controlling it. Yes, all of these things have been happening over the years. And if you know how China operates, they don't operate on short time frames. They have a 100-year plan and they execute their plans to the best of their ability. The US, on the other hand, a lot of our stuff is reactionary, not innovative. We just react to what somebody else innovated and try and regulate it into the ground because that's how they make money. So more than being pro-Bitcoin and owning the asset itself, Peter Thiel's foundation was key to the creation of Ethereum when Vitalik drew a $100,000 grant to begin working on it. He's best known for Thiel Ventures, but of course, he worked for or he created PayPal back in the day. So again, this is what we call China FUD, but just in another way, because there are a lot of people who work in the US government who are going to come out and say that China is the threat. China is going to take over because they have Bitcoin. That's going to be used to either take Bitcoin from people in the US, like, hey, we need this Bitcoin to combat China. If you don't, you're not a real patriot. We've been saying this for the last 5 years. You can see it coming. It's so simple. If you read the news every day like we do, you can see this coming a mile away. So let's get into some comments here. I'm sure we got some good ones. Let's see. Is Oko? Hey, what's going on? Carmelo, good morning. Jiu-Jitsu Crypto. P-Man Van, what's up, brother? Let's see. Carmelo Zay, what else you got on that bookshelf besides Bitcoin and Black American and Death of Money? I have those. I want to know what else you've been reading. Let's see. So the best book I've gotten lately to read, actually, and anybody can use this, Bitcoin Elementary. And I got this, as you know, just had my daughter. Want to get her started early, but Bitcoin Elementary is good. By Esteban Mugai. It's a read-through book. What is Bitcoin? What is money? Actually, it's some adults that can use this book. And I'll be using this book for the Bitcoin summer camp this summer. So this is what I've been reading with my daughter. But what I've been reading lately, other than The Death of Money, is, I'm not very good at social media. I just started doing videos because King basically forced me into it. He was like, "Hey man, you gotta tell people this stuff." But working on building a story brand, Donald Miller. So working on trying to build a brand, social media wise. That's not my strongest area. I'm not really big on pictures and stuff. I can tweet out because I write, but just trying to get everything else together. So that's what I'm reading now. And then of course, Bitcoin in Black America Volume 2. That will be coming out soon for everybody that's purchased. So those are a few. Let's see. Alfonso Clark, what's up? Countdown to 700. Oh yeah, 700 coming soon. Tampa checking in. Brandon, Florida, what's up? Shouts from Vegas. Somebody said Peter Thiel's a douchebag. Hey man, Peter Thiel, like what was it? Batman. It says if you live long enough to see yourself, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I think Peter Thiel went from PayPal co-founder to where they were vilified by banks when they first started to now he's in Bitcoin, but he's scared because of the China thing. So come on, man, get out of here. Let's see. Fumble the face. Hey. Carmelo. Elmer's always going to get FUD. Got to come to GOC to learn that it's duck and rabbit seed all year long. You know it. Sarah Lee purchased your book last week and it led me here. I've been watching your videos from the beginning to bring myself to speed. Thank you for the support, Sarah Lee. Appreciate you. P-Man Van, the U.S. would dethrone themselves. Tell them on board with IMF, which goes directly against U.S. dollar dominance. Sorry, just an excuse to seize or stop it. You're right, P-Man Van. We've said that all along. Is that empires usually implode from within. It doesn't take outside sources. We have the strongest military in the world. Nobody's going to come over here and military, war style take over. We implode on ourselves. If you look at the fabric of our society today, how soft people are, how much we've handed over power to government, how much people are just going along to get along, just listen to everything that people tell them. Yeah, we're pretty. The U.S. is looking kind of bleak at this point. And if you look at old empires that failed, a lot of times I want the U.S. to succeed, but at the end of the day, it's just history, man. Empires always implode from within. I think the quote goes, "Strong men make strong nations create weak men lose empires," or something like that. But I think we're at the part where everybody's so comfortable and laid back and relaxed and max. Everybody has a computer in their pocket. They don't even see what's coming. They don't realize that a lot of this stuff is being kept secret from them. But the gentleman of crypto will make sure you hear about it. Let's see. Safe Star, Isco, what's going on? What's going on? Engine, all-time high, what's good? Patricia Archie, what were the name of those children books again? Bitcoin Elementary, right here. Bitcoin Elementary is a good one. Again, I'll be using that with my Bitcoin summer camp. So let's see. Thoughts about the fall of Babylon, aka USA. Honestly, when I tell people about empires failing, people talk about Babylon, the Romans, whatever empire you want, Persian Empire, it always came from within. You get too much stuff and you implode because you didn't sustain it. And I think that's what we're dealing with right now, unfortunately. We have a lot of incompetent people that are trying to run this country, but we have a lot of very smart people who are not. So that's sort of the difference right now. Let's see. Roman Empire collapse apart was overextended, much like the U.S. implosion incoming. From the face it. See, people see it. It's just we're not, big names, and our broadcasts aren't big enough to make everybody believe it, but it's all good. And we're going to get into our last story of the day. Fun one here. Paris Hilton drops surprisingly well-informed article about NFTs. It doesn't matter how old Paris Hilton gets, the blonde jokes keep coming. For years, she was known as the dumb blonde. Everybody knows her for a sex tape. She worked with what's her name, Nicole Richie. She had a show back in the day. I think some of the older people will remember. Some of the younger people may be like, Paris who? But yeah, if you ever stayed in the Hilton Hotel, that's her family. So that's just example of how much money they have. But she's bullish on non-fungible tokens and thinks the pandemic illuminated the importance of digital worlds and NFTs. She actually stated on Twitter she's so excited about NFTs and the future, and she wrote an article about it. In the blog post, she said, Hilton demonstrates an informed understanding, she said, comes from learning everything she can about the subject by immersing herself in the NFT community on social media and working with NFT collectors like Whale Shark, Kim.com, founders of Origin, right? The 40-year-old, wow, Paris Hilton's 40, has a Twitter following of 16.9 million. So that is a good crowd to send that out to. A lot of people have been influenced by people like her, Lindsay Lohan. I think Kings of Leon put out a whole NFT album. So a lot of people are starting to be influenced to move that way. And for those of you who may say, hey, NFTs are nothing more than a JPEG with a QR code. I always tell people all roads lead to Bitcoin. It doesn't matter how people get in. I think people need to stop trying to be gatekeepers and be like, oh, well, how'd you learn about it? NFTs, ugh, terrible. No, this is a great way for people to earn crypto for their art. Whether you think it's valuable or not, doesn't matter. Somebody's getting paid off of it. But that crypto, just like she's doing, she takes that value, just like Lindsay Lohan, takes that value and then moves it into Bitcoin. And also virtual reality NFTs have a lot of virtual reality use cases. So we haven't even really seen the explosion yet. We're just seeing the money come in. But as far as the innovation, that's coming later. Going further into her article, she says here in quote, I started realizing how impactful NFTs can be, can and will be in virtual worlds. Digital art, fashion, or branding can all be displayed on someone's avatar or in a virtual environment or traded for other goods. You can already buy virtual real estate using NFTs. In the virtual pet universe, Axie Infinity, somebody paid $1.5 million worth of crypto for 9 plots. So virtual cars. I mean, when people think about the virtual world, they think, that's hogwash. That's dumb. Think about it this way. All right, VR glasses are bulky. Nobody really uses them. And the people that do love them, but they're just not efficient. That was computers 30 years ago. They were bulky. They were useful for people who used it, but mainstream didn't have laptops. They didn't have, home computers like that. What happens is those glasses get better. Those digital worlds become better. And when people can put those glasses on and drive a car that they bought, and then also pull up at their virtual house and then sell virtual real estate to other people, maybe for ads. I could see big companies, Sprint, Coca-Cola, Walmart, some of these other companies advertising in these digital worlds. So buying digital real estate may actually be more profitable than real estate in the real world, because again, you can make real estate scarce in the digital world, not necessarily in the real world. So all of these things from Paris Hilton are great. I just think that the use case for NFTs needs to be studied more. And over time, I think it will definitely be profitable for those people who jump in early. So, educate yourself on NFTs. We'll have that as a part of the masterclass. There's a whole section on NFTs, whole section on DeFi, of course, and a bunch of other things. But yes, Paris Hilton. It's funny how they said it was surprisingly well written, but I don't think Paris Hilton's dumb. It's just she knows how to act and put on a show. So let's jump into some comments here before we jump off. Karina Lara, if you ever want to get caught up, the South Park Paris Hilton episode would make you wet your little short pants. Yeah, it's a funny one. That porn tape was weak. Oh yeah, I don't think a lot of people liked it. It just was shocking. Now everybody has one. It doesn't even matter. Let's see. Somebody talking about Filecoin. Let's see. Marcellus Love, NFTs might be that catalyst for mass adoption. Again, yes. I tell people this all the time. When you have a regular Joe Schmo artist or musician who knows nothing about crypto, and then you introduce it via NFT, something they understand, that gets you down the rabbit hole. Whatever gets you there, gets you there. I don't really care. But for some people, that's what they need to hear to make it make sense. Let's see. Chris C, loving the stream, appreciate that. Garten, that's hot. Oh yeah. I think it's a lot going on. Mr. G, augmented reality. Kid Solo, where do you buy digital real estate? You can go to Crypto Voxels, Decentraland. There's a few different places, and I'll show one here if I can. I'll pull one up here. This here is the Black Arts District in Crypto Voxels I visited. Did a short video on my Twitter just showing like a quick runaround on there. But for some people, they don't realize how massive this is becoming. Buying digital real estate. I've bid on some that I'm waiting to buy right now, simply because I see the promise of the future of these big companies are going to be in the digital world trying to advertise to all these kids that are not leaving this virtual world. They already don't go outside. Now imagine when you have a world where you can, again, drive a virtual car, have virtual art, virtual houses, have conversations with people virtually, just like they're in person with you. We're getting to that point. So let's pull up. Let's see here. I'll show you really quick. This is the Black Arts District, and for those of you who have never visited Crypto Voxels, you can actually come here and see the XSF one-off collection. You can go into the actual museum, and when you go into the museum, you'll see some names you might recognize. Micah Johnson, good friend of mine. Yep, you can see that. And see, that's the thing. When you click on it, you can actually go and buy it on OpenSea. And this is a digital museum right here. Like NFTs really are a lot bigger than people are making them, simply because the Bitcoin standard people think that innovation stops there. but it does not. Great picture of Nipsey. Actually thinking about buying that one myself. Sade one as well. But yeah, a whole gallery. You can walk around. This again is Crypto Voxels. I'll drop the link where you can see this at. But yeah, very innovative stuff happening in the space, and it's so much stuff that you really can't keep up with all of it. But if you keep up with some of the things that some of these celebrities are doing, you might be a little too late, but you got to be able to research and watch the show. So let me drop that link in here, and yeah, let me drop that link right there, and that's where you can visit the Black Arts District. So definitely, somebody said, "Welcome to the Oasis Ready Player Ones." Exactly. Imagine having an NFT in one virtual world that you could transfer to another. I mean, it's going to be crazy. And I actually met somebody that built the entire metaverse for the Burning Man festival. Since they didn't do it in person this year, she created the entire metaverse as a whole digital world. You had digital. You go to one spot and view artists. You can go over here and do something. I mean, it was ridiculous. So, and somebody said NFTs are the newest scam. Can we not? Again, I tell people all the time, if you think it's a scam, don't buy it. Don't use it. All I can say is the gamification of crypto for kids, NFTs is a great gateway. And from that point, all roads lead to Bitcoin. And if you don't believe me, stay in the market long enough and anybody will tell you all that playing around with other stuff is cool. But at the end of the day, the goal is to get as much Bitcoin as possible. And for some people, collecting digital art is more important than Bitcoin right now, but they'll figure it out at some point. So whatever your opinion is on it, it's an open financial system. Do what you want. Let's see. NFTs only go as far as Bitcoin value does. Yeah, Bitcoin is the boat that the rising tide lifts all boats. And for every other project, they got to wait for Bitcoin. So that's our show for today. I appreciate you all for watching. Beautiful Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow in the morning. No big announcements except make sure you get on Talk Shop Live 6 p.m. on Sunday. Got a great show scheduled for you. And cheers to all of our warriors. Have a good one.